going on, everybody? So I'm out here in the yard again doing a quick update. I kind of messed up. I didn't make a video of installing this new edge right here because my phone was dead and it was inside charging. I didn't want to wait. I'll just show you now. This garden area was well, it basically looked the same as it did now, but it had a white kind of crappy plastic barrier around it that I didn't really like. I had a little bit of help, but we removed that barrier, weeded the whole thing out, and I installed the edges that I've been trying to install. If you watch my previous video, you know what I'm talking about. This guy right here is already installed. But yeah, I went ahead and I installed that. Looks really good. So I thought I'd just take a quick video, show you that before I start this one. So I'm actually trying to go along the stairs right here. I went ahead and I weeded out. I'll get a better view. I weeded out all of this yesterday. So it's pretty bare, no plants. Getting ready to put down some beauty bark. And my thought on this area right here is that right on the stairs, where the stairs actually dip down right here, the dirt and the bark will just fall right off on the edge of the stairs, especially when I'm trying to blow off to clean everything up. So my solution for that was to go out and get this right here. It's a dig-in black edge by Suncast. It looks relatively easy to install. I've never had to install one, but I went ahead and I took the edger. I just kind of cut, you can see I cut a line in so it'll be easier for me to tap it in, dig it in. I think I'm going to go along with a shovel and make sure that it's nice and prepped. But I already got one opened up. It's all coiled up. This is really thick, heavy duty plastic. I think I'll actually be able to use the mallet to you know, tap it into place. As I was going along, I noticed that there's these nails poking out the side of the sidewalk. I'm assuming this is where they had the forms put up for when they poured this staircase, but these are serving no function right now. They're just poking out. So I'm going to take my hacksaw and I'm going to go ahead and cut all these out. I don't know how many there are. I spotted two. The second one here. Oh, look, there's a third one. So there's actually three that I can find. I'll probably grab the pliers and wiggle that back out so it's straight. Actually, I probably could use the hammer to do that too. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up on the tripod, and that's gonna be the current project for today, is getting this edge right here. Get that installed all the way along here down to the rocks right here. And then this pile of rocks is going to act as my barrier for the porch. So I'm going to end my barrier. I'm going to try and I want to put a few more rocks, probably up to like right here, right where this ends. I'll have my rocks. I have plenty of rocks. I'm actually going to do another video where I'm removing a bunch of rocks, and I'll probably just bring them right over here and set them along here. Use them as a barrier for keeping the beauty bark that I'm going to put down in the garden area. You know, I don't want it falling off the edge, and I don't want it blowing all over the place. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set up the tripod, and we'll get that going. Okay, so I'm going to turn this into a quick one, like I usually do. I speed up the videos during the work, but I like to get my talking out of the way ahead of time. I'm gonna go along and just cut these nails out. Got my Sawzall. Make my task a lot easier. And looks like I'm gonna have to dig down and find where the nails are at, because I'm actually finding more than I expected. But yeah, let me get that done. Okay, so that didn't take very long. So next thing, I'm gonna go grab a shovel real quick. I'm gonna pause the video when I get that. Actually, I think I can get a different tool that's more specific for cutting edges. But yeah, we're gonna go get that real quick. Alright, so I know I said I was gonna get a different tool, but I realized while I was out there looking for the tool that I actually broke that tool, and I don't have it anymore. Flathead shovel, it's gonna work just as well. Basically, I'm just gonna go along, stomp this in at a very shallow depth, just enough that that new edge can have a place to sit in without me having to fight it or potentially break it. So this shouldn't take very long. I'm just gonna go ahead and stomp this in all the way along this edge. Alright, so there we go. I got my area staged out for the project. Like I said, we're just going to be going to right where this step ends, and then I'm going to continue with rocks right there. But that's going to go all the way along. And then right here, where the lawn barrier is, I want this barrier to reach right over in like that, so that it's closed off. Actually, not quite. Well, yeah, probably like that. So we'll just do right like that. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out, stage it first, and then has these stakes you're supposed to put down every 5 feet, just like so. Of course, you put one on the ends too. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera back up and speed the video up so this goes rather fast for you guys. So I'm actually running out of stakes, but I had planned for this to happen ahead of time. So they only give you 5 stakes because you're supposed to do every 5 feet, but I'm doing 1 for every step because it has a curve. It's not gonna stay in place if I do it by the recommendations. So I went ahead and I bought some, or bought 2 packs of stakes. So I actually have an extra 10 stakes. I'm gonna go grab that real quick. So there it is. We got the extra pack of steaks. I'm really glad I purchased these ahead of time. You know, I could always return them if I didn't need them, but it turns out that I'm gonna need them. Go ahead and put the garbage right in my pocket, throw away later, and continue on. I think I'm gonna adjust the camera too, because I'm moving down to where the view is getting out. There we go. So I've actually run into a slight problem. All the steps have lined up pretty well up until this one right here, where we're getting a little bit of a curve that I can't seem to bend out. And also there's a big space right here. So I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do to fix that. I might just cut a piece of the scrap that's left and place it right in this little 6-8 inch space right here, and not really worry too much about it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I don't want to have to mess with it too much. I've been trying to put these in at an angle a little bit first, so that when they're fully tapped in, they kind of flush up and hold this against the step so it doesn't look all wonky. This is just not perfectly straight. It's not turning out exactly how I wanted it to. Still looks pretty good. Not exactly what I had envisioned. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a scrap of this. Maybe I could have straightened this out ahead of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that right in there on the opposite side so that you can't really even see it. Once the beauty bar goes down, you won't even know that it's there. Yeah, that worked. That worked real good. I'm gonna grab the camera off the tripod now just to show you guys the end result. So you can see it's not perfect. Now there's a little bit of bends. I think I might be able to go along, maybe add some more stakes. I think that's what I'll do, is just add a bunch more stakes and really straighten it out, because I don't want it to look like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera back up and add the rest of these extra stakes that I bought. I bought an extra 10, and the only reason why I bought this edge in the first place was to place it right here. So it's not exactly perfect, but it's pretty good. Basically, this is the space that I was trying to put a barrier up on so that the beauty bark that I put down doesn't overflow. I might even put a couple more stakes down, but you know, the stakes aren't very expensive. It's no big deal if I have to use a bunch of them. But yeah, you can see what I was going for. It just has that little bit of space right there to fill in what I'm talking about. It gets a little curvy down here. Nothing too crazy though. I don't think it'll be that horribly noticeable. I don't know, everyone. I think the result of this product didn't turn out the way I expected it to. I thought it would be a lot straighter. It doesn't look that bad. Yeah, I'm just looking at it and thinking, wondering if I should do anything else to make it look a little bit better. I think it's okay though. It's not too bad. Once I put the beauty bark down, it's gonna look really good. Little curves and whatnot here and there is not anything to really get too upset about. This is a long run, and I think part of the problem when I was putting it down is that the surface is not completely flat. We're going down at an angle, and so because of that, as I was putting in like this stake right here, right, then this stake right here would pop back up because it's sort of teetering on the slope. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some rocks to put down around this little area right here. I'll bring them all the way over, probably a little bit past the step, end them up like right here, so we'll have rocks just like that, and then they'll connect in with the rest of the rocks right there, right? Yeah, I think it looks fine. It's gonna serve its purpose at least. You know, the main point of putting this in, like I said, was just to keep the beauty bark that I'm gonna place down in this garden area that I just got done weeding out, keep it from going over onto the stairs. But I do have another pack of stakes. You know, if I really don't like the result, I could end up just going along and putting a whole bunch of stakes in, really secure it up. But that's it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and put my tools away and probably move on to another area and make another video of what I'm doing. What's going on, guys? So it's a little bit late now. I'm hoping this video turns out the same, even though it's getting kind of dark. But I didn't like the way that this landscape edge turned out. I actually didn't care for the color either. I went with a black, and I realized that if I were to do the other color that they offer, which is more of a cedar brown, it'd probably blend in with the beauty bark a lot better and be a lot less noticeable. So I went to the hardware store, I returned the rolls that I had, got one roll of the cedar, and basically I'm just going to take this out, and you know, I was saying it turned out kind of wavy, which I didn't really care for. I think I can do a lot better job. think part of the problem is the way that it's staked in. So I went and got these different stakes. And I actually had a pretty cool idea. I'm thinking I'll take these, you can see how they're bent at the top, and I'm just gonna hammer them so that they're perfectly straight, because the purpose of the stakes that come with these kits is to hold them freestanding straight up and down. But the intended purpose of my edge is to have it nailed up, or I guess fastened against a staircase. So instead of having to put in stakes that are going to keep it standing straight up and down, I can actually just do a straight edge stake that's going to pin it to the object that it's sitting up against. So it'll turn out a little bit different, but right now I'm just going to grab the pliers, I'm going to go along, and I'm going to pull this one out. I'm going to use this landscape edge in other places that I was planning on using the packs that I return. Okay, so now that I got the pack open, I'm thinking what I want to do is coil this out along the edge of the lawn, or maybe just right here. Basically, I want to go along and I want to straighten it out ahead of time before I put it into place. That way I can get all the curves that are going to be not looking so great once this is fully installed bowed out ahead of time and get it to be perfectly straight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to uncoil this all the way up to the front. Okay, so got my packs of stakes open. I got this straightened out. You know, it looks fine when it's unraveled. I'm actually thinking the curves were just from having to install it at an angle, or on a slope, I mean. So I got a rock and a hammer, and I'm just gonna set this rock in the dirt and use my hammer to straighten these stakes out one at a time, which shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna make sure the camera is focused on the spot. Okay, I'll move up a little bit. So move up to right here, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and clear out a space for me to sit down. And I'm gonna straighten these out. So basically these are gonna go in and pin this landscape edge up against the stairs, and they won't even be noticeable once the beauty bark is in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. What's up, Baron? Hi, buddy. Hi. What are you doing? My brother-in-law's dog just came down here. Hi, Baron. Hi. Hi there. You come to see me work? Did you get out? Okay, so I got all 16 of them straightened out. Just take a couple of them and show you what I've done. They're not all exactly the same, obviously, because I bent them by hand. So they're not going to be machine perfect, but they're straight enough. that once I stage my landscape edge, I can just take these, use them to pin this into place. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put my rock back where I found it. And I'm going to go ahead and just set this up in place, make my cut on the end there where I want it to end, maybe a little bit beyond it, just in case I need some wiggle room. You know, if you cut too long, that's fine. You can always just cut more off. But if you cut it too short, there's no putting the cut back on to where it was at. So we'll cut it off a little bit long at the end, and I'll go ahead and just start tapping this into place. I want to get it done fast enough that you can still see what's happening, because it is getting dark pretty fast. So it looks like there's actually a couple spots where I'm going to want it to go towards the dirt. So for those spots that need a correction in the other direction, didn't mean to rhyme, I'm going to go ahead and use the provided stakes, just because they have that little gripper on the top. So wherever I tap it into place, it'll actually hold on and guide it into place where I want it to go. So I want this one to be a little bit further back. And this will work, I hope, for what I need. I'm going to go ahead and pinch this a little bit tighter, just because it's got a lot of space at the top, and I don't want it to have that space. I want it to just barely squeeze over the top of this barrier. There we go. So this will go into place right where I need it to be corrected. There we go. Yeah, that fixed it. Alright, I'm going to keep continuing along. Keep the video speeded up where I can speed it up. I don't want to make this too long. Okay, So I got all my steaks installed. Ugh, a little bit of stutter there. I'm really glad I went and picked up 2 packs because I ended up using all 16 of the steaks that I purchased. And I'm actually going to need a couple more. There's a little bit of a bow here that I want to take out, and then right down, I don't know if this is in the view, but let me adjust the camera real quick. So it is getting rather dark. I tried to do this as fast as I can. I'm sorry if it isn't extremely visible, but I'll go during the day when I do my next video. I'll do a quick run of this to show you the final result. It has turned out so much better than the one that I just uninstalled. But I'm going to take a couple of these steaks. They're a lot smaller, a lot thinner, so I can just bend them straight with a pair of pliers. And I'm going to go ahead and fix these 2 spots that I'm not really too keen on, just because I am a bit of a perfectionist. So we'll put one down right here, and then I'm going to put another one down right over next to it. And I don't know if you guys have noticed in the time lapse, but I've had to put these in and pull them back out several times because they just don't want to go in straight. A lot of them are curving. I think it's because of the rocks that are in the ground. A lot of these are trying to curve in the ground, and so I have to take them out, put them back in, and adjust several times before they're just perfectly in place the way that I want them to be. And I've also been using the pair of pliers to go beyond the landscape edge without damaging anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put one more right here. I don't think I need to straighten this one out. Doesn't really have anything to pin up against. So this is where I had to do a stack. I cut a very small piece off the end and put it behind the main edge that I'm installing, because there's a gap right here that would let material just go right through the bottom. It looks like I could actually use one more. Well, I don't know. That curve isn't such a big deal, not compared to how curved it was before. So I know it's really dark, but I'm going to grab the camera off the tripod and try and show. It's too dark. Yeah, it's a bit too dark. I'm going to go back along during the daytime so that the camera can actually catch the work that I've done. But that'll be in the next video. I don't think I'll add, I might add it on to the end of this, but I really just want to edit this and upload it tonight. But the end result is 100% better than the first one that I installed. I think I want to go along and just tap this into place, but I'll just do that off camera, my few little adjustments, not a big deal. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just end the video here, and then I'll do a time lapse so that it's a lot shorter. I think this video is still going to turn out to be quite long, but I'll speed it up as fast as I can in the places that I can where I'm not talking. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Alright, so here we are the next day. You can see So there's still a little bit, just ever so slight curve right there. Not as bad as it was, and the rest of it came out very perfectly straight. I used a shitload of these stakes that I straightened out. I think I used like 18 in total. This one I'm gonna have to go and tap down a little bit more. It's kind of poking up. That'll get buried. Most of these stakes are gonna get buried with gravel. Let me back up to the top of the stairs and show you. See how that looks? And it's a cedar brown color, so it should blend in with the beauty bark that I'm going to slap down here. Yep, I think it turned out good. I think it looks a lot better than the one that I pulled out. And I'm gonna go ahead and install the next barrier on the lawn. That'll be in the next video. Alright guys, thumbs up on that one.